Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take your source material, really dig into it, and pull out the key insights for you. Basically a shortcut to getting informed. And today, we're embarking on a really fascinating deep dive. We're looking into the life and the incredible influence of one of the longest-serving leaders in the Middle East.
That's right. We've got a pretty comprehensive stack of materials here today, focusing on Ali Hosseini Khamenei. Our goal really is to unpack his journey, trying to understand his impact on Iran, and also explore the different viewpoints surrounding his very long and influential time and power.
Okay, let's unpack this. So we're talking about a figure who's been leading Iran for 36 years. That makes him the second longest-serving Iranian leader in the 20th and 21st centuries. Only Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi served longer.
Yeah, that fact alone tells you quite a bit, doesn't it, about his staying power.
Definitely. So, to start this deep dive, let's figure out who Ali Hosseini Khamenei actually is. You probably know him as Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Our sources say he was born either April 19th or July 17th, 1939, in Mashhad, Iran.
Right, Mashhad. And that's one of the holiest cities in Shia Islam.
Exactly.
And what's really striking about his early life is his background. His father, Ayatollah Javad Khamenei, was already a prominent cleric there.
Ah, okay. So religion was central from the very beginning.
Absolutely. Deeply immersed in religious teaching, formal Islamic education, right there in Mashhad from a young age.
And that religious education, it took him further afield, didn't it?
It did, yeah. He continued his studies in Najaf, over in Iraq, and also in Qom, back in Iran, major theological centers.
Right.
And Qom is where things get really pivotal for him. He was mentored there by several grand ayatollahs, but crucially, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini.
Ah, Khomeini, the future leader of the revolution.
Precisely. This mentorship was, foundational. It wasn't just studying. Khomeini's guidance really shaped his political and ideological outlook. It sort of fused that revolutionary thinking with a certain religious pragmatism. It really set him up for what came later.
So more than just academics, he was building the connections and the ideology that would define his entire life.
Exactly.
So moving into the 1960s and 70s, he wasn't just a student anymore. He became a central figure in the Islamic opposition to the Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. And this wasn't like a quiet, behind-the-scenes thing, was it?
Oh, far from it. He was deeply influenced by Khomeini's teachings by then, and he actively participated in the underground movement, opposing Western influence, the Shah's secular policies. He really put himself out there, risked a lot.
Yeah, our sources really make that clear. Arrested multiple times, imprisoned, even exiled by the Shah's regime for his political work. That's serious commitment.
It absolutely is. It tells you a lot about his conviction. Just despite all that risk, he kept going, giving sermons, distributing leaflets, organizing resistance. This whole period just highlights his unwavering dedication to their revolutionary cause.
So then comes the revolution itself in 1979. The Shah falls, the Islamic Republic is established, and Khamenei, he's right there, a key player, part of Khomeini's inner circle, helping shape the new government structure.
Yeah, he moved quickly into important roles after the revolution. He was on the Council of the Islamic Revolution in '79. Then, in 1980, he got elected to the Majlis, Iran's parliament.
And from there, he rises even higher, president, from 1981 to 89. And this period, it's during the Iran-Iraq War. That must have been an absolutely critical time.
Oh, incredibly formative. He served 2 terms as president, working closely with the prime minister at the time, Mir Hossein Mousavi. And there's a really dramatic detail from this period, too.
Oh, yeah.
He survived an assassination attempt in 1981. It permanently paralyzed his right arm.
Well, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And during his presidency, he also developed very close ties with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC.
Ah, the IRGC, a major power center.
Exactly. A powerful military force, separate from the regular army, deeply involved in politics and the economy. So this whole presidency period really cemented his position within the new establishment, politically, militarily, ideologically.
Okay, so let's fast forward to June 1989. Ayatollah Khamenei dies. And Ali Khamenei is chosen by the Assembly of Experts to be the second supreme leader of Iran. A huge moment, obviously. But there's an interesting detail about his clerical rank then, isn't there?
Yes, that's a really important point. At the time he was selected, he wasn't a marja.
A marja, what's that exactly?
It's the highest rank for a Shia cleric. Traditionally, it was seen as a requirement for the supreme leader.
So, he didn't have the top rank.
No. And the Constitution actually had to be amended to allow a cleric of his, lower rank at the time to take the role.
That's fascinating. What does that tell us?
Well, it highlights the unique circumstances after Khomeini's death. political considerations, his standing within the revolutionary group perhaps weighed more heavily than strict traditional hierarchy at that moment.
So he takes on this role, supreme leader. What does that actually mean in terms of power?
It means ultimate authority, the highest authority in Iran, period. We're talking control over the military, the judiciary, state media, setting all the major strategic policies.
Wow.
And his tenure, 36 years now,
Yeah.
it's spanned multiple presidencies, huge events in Iran and, globally. So his influence isn't just broad, it's deeply shaped the direction of the Islamic Republic for decades.
Okay, so he has this immense power. How has he actually used it? What direction has he steered Iran in? Our sources point to a strong anti-Western stance, particularly against the U.S. and Israeli policies.
Yeah, that's definitely a defining feature of his leadership, no question. He's also overseen the expansion of Iran's nuclear program. The sources mention this serves both energy needs and gives strategic leverage internationally.
Right.
And he's known for supporting groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Palestine, these sort of regional resistance movements.
Okay, that's the foreign policy side.
Yeah.
What about domestically, inside Iran?
Domestically, he has strong control over key bodies. Like the Guardian Council, they vet candidates and laws in the judiciary. He's also known for cracking down hard on dissent. We saw that notably after the 2009 Green Movement protests.
Right, after the election dispute.
Yeah, and during other more recent protests, too. Culturally, he pushes for Islamic values, strongly supports clerical governance, and keeps a tight grip on the media narrative inside Iran. He often talks about something he calls soft war.
Soft war.
Yeah, he defines it as ideological and cultural attacks, mainly from the West, and he constantly emphasizes self-reliance for Iran and Islamic unity.
He's quite a writer, too, isn't he?
Yeah.
Does that factor in?
Yes, he's written a lot on Islamic governance, Western cultural influence or invasion, as he might term it, political ethics, things like that. And he's linguistically skilled, too. Speaks Persian, Arabic, some Azerbaijani, helps him connect, project his ideas.
Interesting. And what about his personal life? We often hear about leaders living these, extravagant lives.
Well, interestingly, our sources suggest he lives a pretty modest lifestyle, often seen in simple clerical clothes. He's married, has 6 children, but none of them hold major political positions.
That's quite a contrast to some leaders, yeah?
It can be surprising to people, yeah.
So when we look at this whole picture, the long tenure, the policies, the control, how do we start to think about his overall legacy? He's clearly very polarizing.
Oh, absolutely. Polarizing is the word. Critics often accuse him of authoritarianism, point to human rights violations, suppressing dissent. They talk about the lack of democratic space, journalists being imprisoned, allegations of elections being rigged. That's one side.
But there's another side too, right? His supporters see him very differently.
Completely differently, yes. His supporters tend to view him as a vital stabilizing force for Iran, someone who defends Islamic values against outside pressures, champions national sovereignty.
So really starkly different views.
Yeah, it really highlights how complex his rule is and how divided opinions are, both inside Iran and internationally.
It's been quite a deep dive, really tracing Ali Khamenei's journey from that young student in Mashhad through the revolution to becoming the supreme leader. His influence has just undeniably shaped Iran's path ideologically, politically, for more than 3 decades now.
Yeah, he's still a figure who, hardliners revere him, while reformists and many in the international community criticize him. That incredibly long time in power has left a really deep, complex mark on Iran and how it fits into the world.
So thinking about all this for you, the listener, given this extraordinary 36-year tenure, the systems he's overseen that are so deeply embedded now, how might his legacy keep shaping Iran's future and its relationship with the rest of the world, even after he's no longer in charge, whenever that might be? What does that kind of singular, decades-long influence teach us about how powerful long-term leadership can be in such a complex, constantly shifting geopolitical situation? Something to maybe mull over after this deep dive wraps up.